I started growing cut flowers 5 years ago, and I did not know a thing. I just bought some seeds and jumped right in. And within a few months, I was making my own arrangements out of homegrown zinnias, cosmos, and some herbs that had gone to seed. But what I didn't know then is that with the same amount of money and effort, I could have grown so many more flowers, more abundance, and more varieties. Back then, I did not know how to do this, but I do now, and that's what today's video is all about. If you want to grow flowers, if you want beautiful blooms to play with all summer, but you're not sure what to grow and you're not sure how, I have a plan for you. 2 plans, in fact, depending on the types of colors you love the most. Simple, easy to grow flowers that will inspire you all season long. And the best part, all the seeds will only set you back about $50, and you can sow them right out in the garden. It couldn't be easier. And you'll be cutting flowers from summer all the way through till fall. We're going to cover a lot of ground today, but I put all this information in a PDF that you can access through the description. Before we get into the specific flowers, I want to show you a really simple way to think about building bouquets. You don't need dozens of different flowers. You just need a few that each play a different role. I like to think about it in 2 ways: what the flower does in the bouquet and the shape it brings. First, we have focal flowers. These are the ones that really catch your eye. Big, colorful blooms like zinnias and sunflowers. They're often round in shape. Then there are the filler flowers. These are the blooms that make your bouquet feel abundant and lush. These often come in clusters, like a soft, airy cloud of small blooms. And finally, texture. Flowers and foliage that add movement and fuzziness and scent. Things like celosia or basil. These are often spiky in shape. Put all of these together, and you have everything you need for a gorgeous and interesting arrangement. So with all that in mind, let's build a garden using seeds all sourced from Johnny's Seeds. It's not sponsored or anything. They just sell really great quality seeds. I'm going to start with a soft romantic palette. Lots of shades of pink, creams, peaches, and a few darker tones for contrast. First, our focal flowers. I'm starting with ballerina zinnias from Johnny's. I chose this mix because it has a lot of variation within a defined color range. Last year, I had cream, lavender, pink, and soft coral, all from the same packet. I love growing mixes like this because you get a lot of variety without having to manage a bunch of different varieties. Next, strawberry blonde sunflowers. These are creamy with deep burgundy centers, a bit moodier than normal sunflowers, but still super cheerful. Now, this is a branching variety, which means you get multiple flowers from each plant. And if you sow them a couple of times throughout the summer, you'll have blooms all season. Double-click cosmos have lots and lots of petals, and that means they can act as a filler or a focal flower. This mix has pink, white, and cranberry tones. So fluffy and sweet. Now let's get into some filler flowers. Dara grows in shades from green to pink to deep purple, and all of those are going to look gorgeous with the other flowers in this palette. Feverfew adds a little touch of white and whimsy. There are a lot of different varieties you can choose from, but I love the OG Magic Single. It's just so freaking cute. And cherry caramel phlox is a small, quick growing flower that looks good with everything. The creamy petals and the soft plum brush strokes in the middle. I used a ton of this last season. And this is another one that if you sow it a couple of times, you will keep getting blooms right up until your first frost. For our texture, we're going to start with Celosia Shimmer, which is like pastel feathers growing in your garden. Not only are the blooms super cool, the foliage is also a really cute spring green color, and it holds up great in the vase. And finally, basil. We're going to let it flower and use those in our arrangements. There are a ton of different varieties that you can choose here, but for this palette, I like lemon or lime basil. It adds these fluffy textural spikes to the bouquet and also a gorgeous scent. Plus, the bees go nuts for this stuff. All of these flowers play so beautifully together in the garden and in bouquets. Now, if you wanted to add just a few more items to your list, here's a few that would work really well. First, hot biscuits amaranth. That warm caramel tone sits so beautifully with all of these soft shades. I'd also recommend some ruby red buckwheat. This is something that is usually grown as a cover crop, and it is really good for your soil, and the pollinators do love it. But it's also a fantastic filler flower with these tiny, airy pink flowers on red stems with a great vase life. And you could grow a dahlia or two. There are a million that would look great with this particular palette, like Sylvia Pink, or something dark and dramatic for some contrast, like Joey Morella or Diva. Okay, now for our bold, dramatic palette. This one has similar ingredients, but a totally different vibe. We're starting again with zinnias, this time the Aurora variety. This is another one that was developed by Johnny's, and it has all of these warm sunset tones from dark pink and orange through to bright sunshiny yellow. I had a ball growing these last year. Next, we add Goldie Double Sunflowers to the mix. This color is so happy and radiant, and the fluffy flower heads are super cute. This is another branching variety. So again, if you sow it a few times throughout the summer, you'll have blooms through the fall. Next, we're going to grow some marigolds. I really love the color of these cocoa golds, but you could also go with cocoa orange for that classic marigold look. Now let's talk about fillers. White Ami is going to add a flash of light to all of these saturated colors, which is going to make them look even more vibrant. And Black Knight Scabiosa will add a little bit of darkness to this palette, bringing some depth and contrast. We're also growing this glorious ruby-colored cosmos called Rubenza. They start out deep, but fade to a rose color if you let them sit a while on the plant. More colors to play with. We're using celosia and basil again for our texture, but different varieties this time. This Sunday mix celosia has super vibrant colors. These are going to glow in your garden and in your arrangements. And finally, let's add cinnamon basil to this mix. This one has deep purple flowers and a warm, spicy scent. And if you wanted to add a few more options to this palette, here's a few suggestions. These juicy shades are so energetic and fun together. a harmonious riot of color. I designed this plan so you don't need any seed starting equipment. You're just going to sow everything right outside. Some of these you could sow a few weeks before your last frost date, but you could also keep it simple and wait until things have warmed up a bit and your nights are about 50 degrees Fahrenheit and just sow everything together all at once. Where to sow them is your next decision. And you'll want to pick a nice sunny spot because all these flowers want at least 6, preferably 8 hours of sun. On average, the bigger plants like celosia and zinnias will need about 9 to 12 inches in between them. The smaller plants like phlox and feverfew can go a little closer, about 6 inches apart. So think about how much space you have and how many plants you want to grow. The other thing to consider is the relative height of these plants. You don't want the taller ones to shade out the shorter ones. So if you're in the northern hemisphere like me, you'll want to put the taller plants like celosia and sunflowers in the back or the northernmost edge of your bed. And in the front of the bed, you'll want to put your little guys like the feverfew and the phlox. Now you could also grow all of these plants in grow bags or pots, but think about the size of the plant and the size of the container. Bigger plants need bigger pots. Once you know where everything's going, you'll want to prep the bed and your containers. Make sure the soil is loosened up at least a couple of inches down, and grab some compost if you have it, dump it on the soil, and mix it all together. Now we put some seeds into the soil. Some of these seeds are really tiny, like celosia and feverfew. Those you just press into the surface of the soil. Other seeds are bigger, like sunflower seeds and marigold seeds. Those you want to tuck in maybe a half an inch or an inch below the surface of the soil. And most of the rest of these seeds fall somewhere in between, so just cover them lightly. Once the seeds are in, press them down gently to make sure they're making good contact with the soil. Then give them a drink. You will want to keep the soil moist until everything germinates, and try to water gently so you're not washing the seeds away. Within a week or two, you should start seeing some sprouts. Exciting! If there are a bunch of them crammed really close together, just thin them out to give them a little bit more space to grow. Or you can also just let it ride and the strongest will survive. You may be surprised how big these get and how quickly. One thing is some of these plants respond really well to being pinched, which is when you wait for them to get about 4 or 6 inches tall, and then you just pinch the top growing tip off. This encourages them to branch and gives you a lot more blooms over the course of the season. Zinnias, cosmos, celosia, phlox, and basil all respond really well to this. Others, like sunflowers and ami, don't pinch those, just let them grow. Phlox bloom within 50 or 60 days of planting, so they may very well be your first flowers. At first, they will grow pretty short stems, but just pinch off those blooms and they'll start to stretch out and get longer. After that, you may start to see some early cosmos and zinnias. The basil will start to flower and the feverfew will start to bush out. Then sunflowers, celosia, and ami will join in. And before you know it, within a couple of months, it'll be harvest time. I have a couple quick tips on harvesting. First, do not be afraid to cut these flowers, especially the zinnias and the cosmos. The more you cut them, the more flowers they will give you. When you do your harvesting, try to do it in the morning or in the early evening when the sun is not actively blasting down. And put them right in a bucket of water. You can even put some flower food in there if you want. How do you know when to harvest them? Zinnias have a little trick called the wiggle test. You grab the stem, you shake it a couple of times. If the flower does not flop around, you can go ahead and cut it. But I will say with the ballerina and the aurora zinnias, sometimes if you let them go on the plant for a while, they will develop tons more petals and they'll even start to change color. So maybe experiment with giving those a little bit more time and see what happens. For flowers like sunflowers, you'll want to cut them just as the blooms are starting to open. And for your clustered flowers like phlox and feverfew, wait until about half the flowers are open on the stem and then cut it. But honestly, you don't really have to worry too much about it. The flowers are going to be pretty regardless of when you harvest them. These tips just help them last a little bit longer in the vase. It won't take long for you to get the hang of it. Once these flowers start coming in, you are going to have the best time arranging them. I guarantee it. You literally can't screw it up. These palettes will let you make soft tonal arrangements, bold declarative ones, and everything in between. Even if not everything comes out perfect, it will still come out beautiful. There's no way it couldn't. To me, every single step of growing my own bouquets is thrilling. Watching the little plants grow, seeing them bud up and bloom, cutting the flowers and putting them together in different ways, gazing lovingly at them when I'm supposed to be like doing laundry or something. All of it is amazing. I hope if you try it, you will enjoy it just as much. Please let me know if you do. Make sure you grab that PDF in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to follow along as flowers start popping out all over the garden. Thanks for spending some time with me today, friends. I'll see you in the next one.